Hi everyone, this is Jeff with Proud Insurance Agency. I keep getting a lot of questions from people about why I got my kids indexed universal life policies. Everyone, oh, it's a life insurance policy, this, that, and the other, but it is going to be fantastic for them in the future, and I'm going to show you a couple of the reasons why. The one that we're going to go through is the exact policy that I bought for my daughter. She is 9, and I'm just going to show you some of the features that she's going to be looking forward to when she gets older. So basically, what an indexed universal life policy is a it is a cash value policy that you deposit premiums to every month. We do $250 a month for each of our kids, and it grows. So you can see right here. So year one, when she's 10, we're depositing $3,000 for the year. Obviously, in the first couple years, these are long-term plays. By the way, these are not like something that you're gonna just stop paying into in even 10 years. Because to really see the benefits of these things, you have to let it go and you have to let it churn. And since they're tied to the S&P 500 and the mark, that it's going to take a long time for the interest to just churn, right? And at these rates right here, we're doing it at 7.4, which the historic average of the S&P 500 is, I think, 7.9. It's actually in here. Right here. 7.45. But what these have paid is 7.92. Whoops. And the reason for that is because on some of these years where it's 0% that the S&P is actually paid out, we pay out zero as well. But on some of these other ones where it's negative 38%, the policy still only pays 0%. It doesn't actually ever take money out of the policy. So it's a little bit different, and I would never call this an investment because it's not supposed to be called an investment. It is a cash value policy that is a great savings vehicle for anyone that takes one of these out. I'm a particular believer in doing it for kids because it's going to set them up in the future. So you can see here what the S&P does throughout the years, and you can see what has been credited throughout the years onto the policy. So the cap is 12.5. So I don't care if the S&P goes up 100%. You're only going to get 12.5%. But if it goes down 20%, it doesn't take any money out of your account. So anyway, going back to how this thing actually runs, you can see that the first couple years, the first 9 years, we're doing $3,000 for the year. Then it drops down because it would turn into something called a modified endowment contract, otherwise known as a MEC. So it automatically adjusts so that it doesn't turn into a taxable event. But you can see the surrender value going up and up and up and up, right? And then let's say when ZZ is 40 years old, she's going to have $165,000, which she's paid out $66,991. And these are all, non-guaranteed assumptions, by the way. So I don't want to say that these are, the exact numbers that anyone would ever get or that Mackenzie is going to see in the future. But I mean, I like to think they're pretty close, especially since we are, the hypothetical that we're using over here is less than what these things have paid out over the last 20 years on average. So that brings me, so the guaranteed assumptions over here these are zero. This is if everything just hits the fan, we never see another dollar out of the S&P. This is how it would perform, right? This one over here is at 4%, which would just be, that'd be unfortunate for the country if if the S&P only performed at 4% for the next, however long. So I go off of this over here because we're going to have up years, we're going to have down years, but all in all, 7.43 is pretty safe to assume, in my opinion. Maybe not for you, and that's one of the things that we can do with these is we can calculate it at different percentage rates. that someone would like to see. So that being said, what I want this to be used for Mackenzie is when she gets older into retirement age. This is a life insurance policy. So not only are we building the cash value in here, but the death benefit is also part of this equation. So when she gets up to, age 60, and she's, starting to think about all this stuff, the death benefit's almost $1 million. It's building up to almost $1 million. She's got $705,000 in the bank. And then from here, you can watch the interest compound. I mean, in 5 years, she goes from 700 to over $1 million. So at retirement age, at 65 years old, she's gonna have $1 million in the bank, which leads me to a different slide here that I have. And hold on, let me get this. So this one is a little bit different because, whoops, wrong one. This one is a little bit different because it shows what she would have if she wanted to pull money out at age 65, 66. So if she wanted to pad her retirement, she could start taking distributions from the policy, $50,000 a year. This is what I put it at, which who knows, that may be a car payment in, 60 or 57 years, who knows. But she'd be pulling out $50,000 a year to pad the retirement that she's already got. And she would still be, her cash value would still be going up as the years go by, and her death benefit is still going up as the years go by, making sure that her family is secure. So she could possibly take out even more if she wanted to. And the cumulative premium that she has paid into this whole policy right here, $121,000, and she has over $1 million in the bank. So a lot of people, I know, don't believe in this type of vehicle for whatever reason. I know it's got bad names from Dave Ramsey, who say, buy term and invest the rest. But this literally is putting money into an index that you can do on your own as well. This just has a death benefit component to it. You can use it down the road to do planned distributions. You can just sit there and have the money pulled out every month like clockwork and just let it ride, right? Now, I'm not saying don't get 529 plans. I'm not saying don't get 401ks. I'm not saying not to do any other, investment vehicles aside from whatever you're doing. This is just another tool to have to make sure that your kids have something down the road. I've done it for my kids. I'm a huge believer in it. I would strongly encourage every single one that I know to do this for your children, or even if you want to do it for yourself. If you're fairly young and you can get the money in there to churn and accumulate, then it's a no-brainer in my eyes. But, other people feel differently. But I just wanted to get this out here and just kind of show people what these things can do. Obviously, there's all kinds of different, there's different circumstances for everybody, and I get that. So these things are, you can customize them. You can, we're putting $250 each a month in. You can do as little as $100. You can start them out on $100 a month, and you can get this thing going. And then maybe later on down the road, if you want to fund it a little bit more, you can start putting more money into it. They're very, very, very customizable. So that said, Jeff with Proud Insurance, appreciate your time. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks a lot. Bye.